Alright, so sorry, I got a phone call. So that screen recording stopped. That last hand, I ended up folding after the flop. I missed the hand that just happened. So someone had a boat. Yeah, I missed that last hand ending there in 5-2-8. Someone had a pair of aces. Not me. Okay, so here's a fold for me. Let's go back to this all-in hand. Um, he did have some outs on the turn, right? Because he had the nut flush draw. He also had a 5-7. So a 4. No, he didn't really have a straight draw, but that's part of the game. Let's go to this last all in. Let's see what he had. So I went all in. Player 6. Oh, the last hand I had is this last hand, last two. Okay, so player 6. Hand ending in 5-2-8. That was the aces you guys saw. So against seat 4 again. This time he had 9 jack and hearts. So no flush draw. The jack 9. So you just calling all in on that gutter. Jack 9 3 4. I mean, he shouldn't have even really been in that hand in the first place. That's just him tilting. Which, by the way, sometimes a tilt in this game gets you beat. I mean, beats the aces. So I'm glad I got lucky there. All right, missed a little bit of this action. Um, so the hand that I raised, I think I was the cutoff or the button, was the one that someone had a full house. I missed this last hand with 2 pair. Decent sized pots. So it is. I'm gonna go back this way. Hopefully, it doesn't make it too annoying for you or for me. T4 is just being, I don't know, crazy. Maybe he actually has something good now. So it's 12:01. I am going to finish this orbit and go one more, because if seat 4 wants to donate his money, I'm going to be happy to take it. Just got to be smart. And there's really no one at the table now that I can be afraid of except for seat 5. I'll be weary of what hands I go. So that's something I pay attention to, and I don't know if it's right or wrong in Hold'em and in tournaments. Well, in tournaments, you want to be aware of everyone's stack size at all times. In cash games too, but um, in a tournament, it's your goal to get every chip at the table to be in front of you. In cash, there's a unlimited amount of chips that can be at the table at any given point and can be added to the table. So in a cash game, and more specifically here in this PLO game, I'm going to be weary of going heads up with 5, or just going against 5 in any way, shape, or form. Doesn't mean I'm going to run away from him or be scared or not play hands against him. It's going to mean so that even if I'm ahead, you have to be cautious, because PLO, you never know what draws he's on. And I would hate to lose my stack on something like going all in with aces post flop, and he calls, on a strong draw or already had 2 pair of strips. Another bad thing about aces is that you're lowering your opportunity for 2 pair, and sometimes 2 pair is all you need to beat the aces. Let's review that hand too, because I want to know what did 4 just punt there with. I know seat 1 caught a straight, but he had a straight draw and a nut flush draw. Ace Jack 5-2 is what he had. Yeah, so he was just calling. What was the post flop bet? So yeah, he raised to under the gun, raised to 10 cents. Big blind re-raised to 37. Oh, so big blind just went all in right on the flop, and the guy called with top pair and top flush draw. And the big blind had our buddy over there in seat, was it 1 or seat 4? And he also had ace 6-2-4. I mean, you're not on a flush draw, you're not on a straight draw. You have horrible kickers. You gotta think the dude has at least an ace or 2 pair if he calls him. Anyway, Okay, big blind. I'm going to check my jacks. We're going to see a board. Doesn't help me at all. I'm going to set my instructions to sit out next big blind. And at this point, let me go back this way. Because why not? Let's make you guys dizzy. Gotta charge my phone. In regular hold'em, if you have pocket jacks, do you typically call a board there with king on the board? Maybe. Four-handed, maybe not, depending on how big the bet is. But in PLO, mid-pocket pair, I'm just chasing for a set. And even then, a set could give someone else a boat. That's what I mean. A jack there when there's a king could help someone get this straight. Okay, so now we have the small blind, which is weak. I do have ace king, which is nice. I do have a suited ace, which is really nice. The 6-3 is not great, but again, ace 3 is not the worst thing in the world, and the 6-3 is not terrible. This might be a fold if 4 and 5 had folded, but because we're getting action, I don't foresee the big blind or the cutoff raising. The cutoff could jam. If he was doing a tricky, he didn't. Okay, cool. Now, queen, jack, jack. Where was I? Last hand. I have a gut shot. This is a six-handed PLO hand that was pretty well raised pre-flop. There's a good chunk in the middle for action. In fact, that would put two people all in already. It's 50% pretty much of what's not, but it's a good chunk of the razor's stack. No doubt in my mind, someone already has a jack. Very possible someone here has queen, jack, or pocket queens. Even if I hit my 10, I'm hoping it checks around. 10 of diamonds would be cool, but even if it hits my 10, I get the straight. It's still very possible someone has jack 10, pocket 10s, pocket queens. So I will proceed with caution. Okay, 5 does nothing. Well, nothing for me. Again, someone could have pocket 5s, and now they have a very strong hand. Okay, big blind's betting pretty big, very big for what's considered a multi-way pot. I think, if you listen to Daniel Negreanu or anyone who looks at solvers, which I do not, but if you want to teach me how to do that, please comment, message. I feel so silly talking to myself. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to bet smaller. I got nothing. I'm folding. If that guy didn't have a jack, I would be shocked. These jacks are calling my name. Had him 2 hands ago. Nothing hit. 2 jacks on the flop last hand. Not for me. Let's see if we can keep these jacks going. Seat 4, minimum raise, which is crazy for him. I'm just going to call. Let's flat this, especially with another caller. I'm sure the blinds will jump in. Nothing for me. Check or fold. Again, 5 ways. There's an ace. If this was hold'em, actually, this was hold'em and there's an ace, and there are 5 ways you probably still don't call any big bets, but in PLO, even less of a reason to call a big bet. Now, let's say checks run and the jack does come. I have a jack of clubs. Well, club comes anyway. I'm dead. I mean, there is nothing that can come on this river that can save me. Even if a jack comes now, I'm pretty sure someone has a flush. 5-handed. But check. See what happens. And just confirm I did. Yep, I'm going to sit out next blind. If I fold all the way around to the blind, I will be quite happy. Ace on the river. Someone bets 5 cents. Someone calls. I'm easily out of that hand. Ace 10 takes it. I'm hoping the guy that called had at least an ace as well. Because if you just have a king high thinking this is hold'em, not smart. Yeah, our buddy in seat 4 is potting. I will call with my double suited to have some straight possibilities here. This is a trouble hand. This is a trouble hand. A flush can get me in trouble. Either one. Well, that's easily avoidable. A straight can get me in trouble. So I have a wrap for the straight, but there's already three hearts out there. So there's three sixes, three sevens, and three fives that can get me a straight. I don't hold a heart. Yeah, maybe I get lucky no one has a flush and I do river or straight, but I'm not putting any more money into this pot willingly. Nope, fold. The way we would calculate this, by the way, so three sixes, three sevens, and three fives that would get me a straight. That's 9 cards. 9 cards out of roughly 52 cards in a deck, but let's just assume 50. So you have, you double that. So I have an 18% chance of hitting one of my outs on the river. Fold here. One more hand to see. Probable fold. So if you're watching and you're riveted by this action, look down at how long this video goes. If the video only goes on a couple more seconds or maybe a minute, feel free to end it now. Like, subscribe though. I guess I'm supposed to say that, which I always find silly. But if you see the video goes on for a longer period of time, like over 45 seconds to a minute, then maybe there's some action on my last hand of the session and you want to stick around. That is my, I guess, teaser or cliffhanger. By the way, if you want me to, I'm gonna put a feedback. If you want me to shut the heck up during these, not narrate, or do one of those AI voiceovers that seem to be very common on YouTube, especially in poker videos, let me know. I know my voice on a recording is not ideal, and I don't care. You can be mean. I will entertain it. I will be entertained by it. Okay, so seat 4 finally had a little something. Good for you. 3, 3, 4, 6. That's a hand that if I was a dealer, and people would limp or just min raise to me, maybe I'd check. But under the gun, first act, nothing there is worthwhile. Let's take a look at the flop just to see what flopping a straight flush looks like, and I can be like, oh, shoulda, coulda, woulda, because hindsight is very powerful in poker. But it'll more than likely be nothing. Look at that. That's what I mean by trouble hand. I flopped a flush in what would have been 5-handed if I called, in what would have been a pre-raised, an erased pre-flop hand. And wow, it is possible, not probable, possible that I have the winning hand here. I'm glad and happy to be out of it. So, seat 1, minimum bet. Seat 2, they're only betting or calling if they have either a flush, which would more than likely mean it's higher than mine, and or a set or two pair, and they're hoping to get a boat by the river. Watch. So I have a feeling 2 was going to have the higher flush just based on the action. If 1 was more confident, I don't think he would have checked the last 2. Yeah, this guy's going all in. There it is. He's got the nut diamond. And if I do a hand review, which, yeah, let's go do a little hand review. I will wager, well, let's exit this, that, what was it, seat 1 had the smaller flush, and that is why I call it a trouble hand. Oh, he didn't. What is he doing? You have a straight? Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he is not a good player. And he led into that with 2 pair. Okay, so I take it back. Sorry. He had 2 pair on the flop. Which, like I said, you either have the flush or, and he bet really small. Maybe trying to see an inexpensive turn where he can boat up, in which case he's feeling pretty good about himself. In this case, the guy with the nut flush on the river only called his small bet. I believe it was 15 cents. Let's go. Yeah, he bet 15, and then under gun plus 2 called his 15. They see a free turn. It helps no one. The first act now checks. What was the pot? 25 cents? That's an okay bet. He's betting for value for 25 cents. Just small enough to keep two pair, and now gut shot straight drop going. And then what happens in the river? These are these trouble hands. He hits a straight. I would have still folded. This guy goes all in for 83 cents. He has nothing but a flush, but people want to see for themselves. And there you go. So, session two of my poker PLO low stakes Bovada rising the stakes challenge. So far, so good. Hopefully, you guys are finding this entertaining slash liking this. I don't know why I combine those. Since we forgot what my closing tagline is going to be, but I want to go with the stupid one from the last one. May the four be with you. On to the next one.